20th. This is Bottoms of the Barrel at Shakers on Clark, 3160 North Clark. I am your host, Thomas Bottoms. I like to say this is the comedy show with no budget, no future, no morals. I like to say we're aiming low for success. Whenever they say, how low are you aiming? I said, did a show happen? They said, yes. I said, success. We've got Joe behind the bar. How are you doing, Joe?
Doing great.
And Joe is serving up some alcohols tonight. We've got $3 domestic bottles. We've got $4 well drinks and $4 Jaeger and Fireball shots. And if you don't drink, don't feel obligated to drink, but do feel obligated to buy me a drink. I will easily do a Fireball shot. We can talk about hot liquids going down my throat. And if that is too much for you, you can buy me a vodka drink. Vodka's my little black dress. It goes with everything. Miss Patty Vaccarella, my sister from another mister in that house, or a Lippert lady of comedy. Her street name plays in your mouth, Patty. She one time threw out at me the vodka prune juice, but since we both worked in nursing homes, that's called the Trotsky. It will make you happy in ways you don't know. So again, if you're not having a drink, go ahead and buy me one. We're on Q4 Radio, AM1680Q4.org. And I have to say, give a round of applause to Mikey Chip, our cameraman tonight. He has been my boyfriend for 7 years. Yes. He liked it so much he broke another mirror. People ask if we plan on getting gay married. I'm like, oh no, I look like I've been gay divorced 3 times. But it is good to be in a relationship because I don't like to be like in the dating world. Like especially in the gay world, the dating world's now like all the apps like Grindr, Growler, Scruff, Adam for Adam, Bear Forward, what, Gay Forward. Like we can keep going on. And only thing I can say upon reading those is like, most of the conversations I had is like I knew his manhood before I knew his name. I don't know if that happens in the Tinder universe. Sometimes like, they show the bald head, but not the one you thought. But I'm glad not to be dating anymore because I flash back to like all my bad dates. Like, the one that ended with the police actually arresting my date was not the worst date of my life. It really wasn't. I was judgmental at that point because, he would have been paroled by now. But, you do bad dates. Like, I dealt with a guy who would put me on what I like to call hoe-away. Oh, hey, we're supposed to hang out today, but I'm drinking with my friends. Can I see you next week? Put me on hoe-away. And by the way, when the next week came, he forgot he put me on hoe-away and mistook me for a gas station. He's like, oh yeah, I'm partying with my friend later tonight, but I'll stop by. And I'm like, honey, I ain't a gas station, okay? This is not no come and go. The service station has closed, but self-service is still available. I don't know. Some people talk about the cost of relationships and like, the only thing I have to say is sometimes you have to pay for an Uber so the man knows not to come back. And we now live in the world of texting. And you get that on the apps, also the texting. And they're like, hey, let's meet up. K. Well, let's meet up at 9 o'clock. KK. And it's like, if you add a third K, you're a Trump supporter. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a comic book geek, and I love my superheroines. And as a kid, I played superhero, so kids would be like Spider-Man and Iron Man, and we'd get the X-Men and Justice League, and guess who I played as? Dazzler. In case you don't know, Dazzler is where the X-Men meet disco music. She wore a silver lame jumpsuit, roller skates, and had light powers. They're like, oh, Fin Fang Foom's destroying the city. What do we do? Spider-Man shoots his web. Iron Man shoots his repulsor beam. Dazzler, dazzle burst, and skates away. And oddly enough, one of my favorite comics, because my love of heroines, is Femme Force. Ooh. Yes. On the first cover, as you see, a busty Nazi wielding a whip is accosted by equally busty but less attired superheroines in the Femme Force special. And I've had people ask me, how do you know that they're superheroines? And I said, because unlike a sitting president, I know the Nazis are bad guys. And by the way, Femme Force is going color in December issue 188. Go request, go buy it, and they've also released Super Babes. And they're your disposition's all right. I didn't know about the air show last weekend. I really didn't. So when I got up for work on Thursday and my apartment started shaking because of the airplanes, my first thought was, did that man get us into war? I don't know what to think about that man anymore. I really don't. Only thing I know is once his children become orphans, I know exactly how to pose. So we're going to go ahead and start this train wreck of comedy. We're going to bring up our first comedian. She's a returning favorite. She recently toured in Washington, D.C. Give a round of applause for Katie Zane.
I'm not going to pretend to use the mic. You know what? My hand is always full with my cane, so it's kind of nice to not have to hold a thing, and my voice is very loud, so I don't need anything to help. Also, can we just talk about how this looks like a budding lesbian's like altar? Like someone who's very, she's like, I like comic books, but like she doesn't understand. She's like, I like boobs. Actually, that's why I like these comic books. Really, I just see myself in this altar, I think is what I'm trying to say. So the first thing I want to tell you guys about is that I have a sister, an older sister, and she works in McDonald's, and she actually really loves her job, and that's very sincere. She works at maybe like the greatest McDonald's in the country or something, and we talked for like about an hour a week, and over the weekend we were talking about her job, and she was telling me that apparently she works at like the only McDonald's in the country that doesn't have a drive-through. Okay? And she was telling me about how like they're mostly like a commuter McDonald's, so like Monday through Fridays when they do a lot of their business, so over the weekend they're very slow. But what mostly happens on the weekends is that people pull up to their McDonald's and realize they do not have a drive-through. And then they look real sad. And then they don't get out of their car. Because apparently those McNuggets and that McFlurry, not worth it! Not worth those 15 feet! Like, oh my gosh, yeah, she said like, she was like, I get paid to do nothing. She's like, I get paid to eat French fries. And I was like, you know what? You've done good. You got money from the government, you're getting paid to eat French fries, you're doing right, sister. You're doing okay. So, let's see. Okay, so one of my biggest fears in life is that I'm not sure if I'm hot. And I'll explain. Like, am I messing up? Am I making bad choices? Like, could I be traveling internationally with somebody? Like, am I attractive enough to do it? You guys know what I'm talking about? Like hot ladies that get to do stuff. Could I be one of them? Am I messing up with my life choices? Like, am I poor for no reason? Should I be on sugardaddy.com? Like, what am I doing? And there's a huge fear. Like, did I waste my potential? I'm 35. Like, did I mess up? Like, I should have done it at 22. I don't know. I did not see the value. There's two things I did not see the value in when I was younger. One, I did not see the value in youth. I did not appreciate being attractive in 20. And I also did not appreciate people giving you money because you're attractive in 20. I thought that was not okay and wrong, and now I'm like, please give me money. My boobs are still nice. Like, please give me money. So another thing I want to tell you guys about is I have picked a very weird hill to die on, and that hill that I've chosen to die on is about the straw band and about the straw situation. I'm going to be very real with everybody. Nothing is happening to sea turtles except for people messing up their nests. There isn't straws attacking sea turtles, okay? Like, you know what plastic is attacking sea turtles? Corporate trash. That's what's attacking sea turtles, not straws. And it really makes me really, like, I have gone into, so I've like gone off in places where they've gotten rid of straws, or they have those BS paper straws. Like, which, like, you know what's fun? Paper towels in your mouth when you're drinking alcohol. That's what that feels like. Like, I feel like I'm in elementary school again in like a weird place. Like, I don't like it. And like, every single time I see a bar or a restaurant that's gotten rid of straws, I'm like, cool. Again, like I said, putting responsibility on the individual instead of a corporation, which is part of the reason why I wrote this bit, is because I really want to talk about, get rid of your individual use plastics, but like don't give a disabled person a hard time because they're using a straw. Like, because straws, this is like also a fun fact, straws were invented for disabled people in hospitals. Yeah. Like, they weren't always for bougie white ladies and their mojitos. They used to be just for people with necks that didn't work and Parkinson's. Like, and now, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole thing. But I feel very strongly about straws, and you can pry them out of my cold, dead hands. Let's see. Oh, so the other thing I realized recently is that I started comedy a little bit late, and to the point where, like, most of the people, not most, about half, most was not kind to myself, about half the people in most rooms could have come out of my vagina. Not a high school baby. Like, post-high school baby. That's a weird feeling. It's a weird place to be. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is about how I don't like to poop. I do not like it. And I feel like, again, like the straw thing, I am in the minority. With almost everybody loves to poop, and I'm at the point in my little disabled life where I'm jealous of people's buttholes. like I'm like, oh, your butthole works real good, huh? What's that like? What's that like when your poop just comes out and then your butthole just closes right up? What is that like? Because I don't know. Because that does not happen to me. One of the things about every single person that ever moves in with me, the first two things I have to get out of the way, I'm like, look, we're gonna share toilet paper, and I will buy it because I use a lot. And this is how I can be respectful of people I live with. And that is enough out of me. Thank you guys so much. I've been Katie Zane.
Katie Zane, everybody. Give her a round of applause. Talking about her booty hole. I am Katie Zane. As a gay man, I don't do toilet humor because that stuff's an occupational hazard. Oh, Lord. Okay, we're going to keep it going. We're going to bring up our next comedian, Raza Jafri! Okay. Thank you. How's it going? All right. Is that not working? Is this working? No, it's not working.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just yelling.
Oh.
Funsies.
Gotcha. I thought that was... Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, hey, how's it going, huh? All right. It's good to be here. Is this Lakeview?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just moved up close to here. I moved into Uptown, which is nice. I used to live in Logan Square, which is it's different. Logan Square is nice if you want to live next to all races of people who are otherwise exactly the same. Never looked at somebody in Logan and thought, I wonder what his politics are. It's never happened. I already know that guy, you know? But it's cool, it teaches you things. Logan Square taught me that you could be quirky and weird and still be so unremarkable. I think that's special. No, it's special, you gotta give it to them. Alright, I look like I live in Logan Square. I think that's fair to say. That's what my girlfriend said. I got these glasses. She's like, you look like a Bangladeshi Harry Potter. One, that's not a compliment. And two, I'm not Bangladeshi. So it's kind of messed up, right? I don't know. It's I am dating my girlfriend, which is what you do. It's interracial, which means I'm better than all of you. I think that's what that means. It's hard dating interracially, right? It's different cultures, different religions. I grew up Muslim. She was raised Catholic. It's hard dating someone you know is going to hell. I think that's hard to reconcile. We'll play in the bedroom, like as a kink. I'll make her say obviously damning things that'll send her to hell. I'm like, say it. She's like, I don't wanna. I'm like, say it, Megan. She's like, women can drive. I'm like, you're gonna burn, Megan. You're gonna burn. All right. That's a joke about the love of my life. She does not like it. I don't know. We got a puppy recently, which is yeah. I'm new age, so I don't beat him. No, I think you can teach a pup anything just by talking to them, right? Like the other day, he ate a sandwich off my plate. I didn't get mad. I just looked at him and said, "Baby, this is why your mother left you." Do I look like a doggy to you? No? It's because you come from a broken home. Because you do things like this. So you better shape up. Voila, he hasn't eaten anything in weeks. Now he just stares out the window and chain smokes. The point is, it's not hard to be non-violent when you got a good heart. Right? It's about what's in here. All right. I'm real liberal. No, I don't know. No, I don't know what I am. I don't know. I'm just like, dark inside. I don't know. I'm not. I don't get like when people are like comedians should, rein themselves in. I think you should be allowed to say whatever. If you wanted like positive stuff, go watch music. Go listen to music, right? That's what they're for. Musicians are such beautiful people, I think if everyone in the world was a musician, there'd be peace on earth, No, I seriously think that. Like there'd be no hot water or electricity, but everyone would be in like a drum circle, just like So you just gotta weigh out what you want, You want water at different temperatures, then Good. All right, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. I'm dating my girlfriend. Most of my material is punching down on my girlfriend. I don't know. I found out she's been lying about her orgasms, which is, that's hard. We had sex the other day, and afterwards she's like, "Raza, I don't come when we have sex." And I looked at her, I was like, "Really? Are you lying?" She's like, "No, I'm trying to open up to you." I'm like, "You're lying." And then she said something, but I was asleep. I feel like that's a guy thing to do, Like follow up afterwards. Like, "Hey, by the way, did you come?" Because I was really focused on my part. Totally forgot you were there. All right. Not a guy thing, just me, huh? I don't know. I ask mid-sex, I just get it out of the way. My inner call center comes out. I'm like, "Madam, do you have time for a brief survey?" Does not respond. It really is a brief survey, right? It's just one question. Did you come? And it's only got one right answer. She gives me the wrong answer. I start interrogating her. Like she's an Arab at an airport. I'm like, "What do you mean you didn't come? You clench your butt cheeks 4 minutes in. What was that all about?" You clench and then unclench your butt cheeks. "Well, I came because you clenched, lady." You gotta put it on her. I think that's, if I could give you any relationship advice, it's just deflect. That's how you win. All right. We're doing great. I don't know. Okay. Thank you. Is this a sex positive crowd? Yes. All right. I found out I'm into pregnant porn, which is, not so sex positive. Everyone's cheering and whistling. No, it's weird, right? Especially because I like it like right at the end, like right when the kid's coming out. That's the sexy stuff, right? It's like a game of whack-a-mole. People don't know this, but if you put your dick in right as the head's popping, the baby will just pop out of the asshole, Make like a funny face at you, like, nah, you gotta get him. All right. I can say that. I went to medical school, and that's like the first thing they teach. I barely went to medical school, I went for like 6 weeks. That's barely an attempt. I attempted medical school the same way a stillborn attempts life, All right. Hey, thank you.
Raza Jafri, everybody! Yes! Raza, when I lived in Denver, I worked at Pleasures, and we sold maternity porn. It was called Knocked Up and Turned On. Raza Jafri, everybody. We're going to bring up our one of 2 or 3 traveling comedians. From out of town, we have David Perez!
Thank you. That's my imitation of a white woman at a wedding about to give a speech. I'm going to use this microphone because I only feel comfortable with a penis in my hand. Clean set. I kind of just want to tell you about my day, if that's okay. Thank you. So if you hadn't noticed, our political climate is a sandwich made of poo-poo right now. Clean set. So, me and my boyfriend, twist I'm gay, we decided to put our phones down and take a walk and go vintage shopping for textiles to make curtains of. And before you call me hipster, or more appropriately faggot, I'd like you to know that we did this without irony. Like, we are people that just like old things. Like, if you go to our apartment, we have like old couches and old paintings. Like, I even like old-timey sayings like, gee willikers and yowzers and the president's been shot. It was a simpler time. I'm so excited to be in Chicago. I'm from New York. Yay, clap for Chicago. I'm from New York, but lived here for 10 years, so I'm not that smug yet. I love Chicago. I also, tonight I'm fulfilling one of my dreams, which is to perform in a bar that I got asked to leave for being too drunk at. I love Chicago, especially going to O'Hare, because it's the only place on earth I feel skinny. Something amazing happened today, too. I'm excited to tell you this. I fired my therapist. I fired her because she, for the second time, lotioned her legs during our session. Which is, like, remarkably not our rock bottom. Our rock bottom is when I saw her walking the streets of Brooklyn, barefoot, eating a Go-Gurt, with an umbrella that said, "Dry Lives Matter." And I was like, maybe Natalie's not the person to take care of my mental health. The reason I did actually stay with her is very messed up, which is, it wasn't because she was helping me with my grief. It was because the woman that goes before me in therapy is so entertaining when she leaves that I couldn't miss a thing. The first time I saw her, she walked out and she had like black mascara running down her face, and she slammed the door and she's like, "I'm cured!" And then she turned around and her t-shirt said, "Bailey's Blackout Bachelorette." The next time I saw her, like a piece had come into her eyes. She walked out of the door and closed it like a human and looked at me and she goes, "It works. It really works. Every day is a winding road." And then she sang "Every Day is a Winding Road" by Sheryl Crow. I broke up with my therapist, even though she was helping me with my grief. The thing that people don't tell you about grief is that it rhymes with queef. I've been going through a hard time. My sister passed away, and then my dog died, and the reason I'm telling you is for the attention. You know, I don't want you to worry about me. You know, I think sometimes people, I say that and people like look at me and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, no, I have good days. Like today, I did my thing. But some days I'm in bed, staring at the ceiling, overcome with queef. I didn't even plan to tell that joke tonight. Okay, what did I want to talk to you about? Oh my God. I need to tell you something that has happened in my life. Me and my boyfriend just got a dog, which is great. A new dog. I really like having a dog. It's really teaching me about being a parent, namely that I do not want to be a parent. Because, you have a kid. Anyone here have kids? Great. So you have a kid, and you probably know this. You raise them, you teach them everything, you love them beyond yourself, and then they grow up to be like, "You're a coward, Dad, give me $20. Dogs die at 13. If you could guarantee me a parent's worst nightmare, I'm in. Also, you can't jerk off in front of your kids. They take them away. You can jerk out in front of your dogs, right? I mean, I don't... Okay, so I was jerking off in front of my dog. And, I'm just like, watching my favorite porn, which is like where like a Ukrainian man has an excruciating anal experience for $15. And then I like hear this noise, and I look over and my dog is just like pleasuring herself while locking eyes with me. And I was like, daddy issues transcend species, guys. I'm David Perez. Thanks so much.
David Perez, and someone left their drink. Oh, okay, here we go. Yay! David Perez! David, I relate to having like old couches in my apartment. My boyfriend and I have old couches, but that's because we have cats.
Just saying.
And that means pussy ruins everything. Now, our next comedian, he runs a show at Cheesy's every Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Sign-ups at 9:30. It's the other side of Belmont. And if that's too far for you to walk, that's mean you're from the burbs. Give a round of applause for Juan Chavez!
Hey, okay, it's still not working. I was really hoping because I have a really quiet voice. My name's Juan. I'm currently running an open mic over at Cheesy's. The one thing I really like about running an open mic is I don't have to be the funniest person in the room. It's sort of like my job to be the least funniest person, so that everybody in the audience is like, oh, that guy's a comedian, but they're not listening to me. It's sort of like, it's more like an act of self-sacrifice. It's like, I'm not good at this. Like, I've been doing stand-up comedy for like 10 years, and this is not where you should be in 10 years. I'm mostly just doing this until my true love, I get a break at my true love, which is to have sex in front of hundreds of men while on stage for money. That's the dream. That's fantasy. I'm currently a porn star in my own pornos that I post on Pornhub because I really want the attention. I am also a bouncer and bartender over at Touché, which is a gay bar on Clark and Division, which is where I work, which I should not have said on the radio. But here we are, making regrets. But I am also, please cut.
I got it.
Please cut. I'm also a hooker. And, like when I tell that to like normal gay men who aren't into bears, they're like, "Oh, you charge for that?" And I'm all like, yes. For one thing, I think I have a really good personality. I really love talking with guys, and I have a 9-inch penis. Real girthy. And, my record for a client was 5 hours. Chemically induced stamina. I'd done Viagra and Adderall, and I was like, you know what? You're gonna get a discount tonight. I'm gonna mess up your hole. Oh, like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Virginal.
Where? Tell me the proof. I also spend a lot of time at this daddy bar called Second Story. A lot of older, dignified alcoholics really like the attention of a younger person, literally anybody. It's like I go there, and before I would go up there and talk to a guy for 5 minutes and get him to buy me a drink. And I don't know if I'm getting older or they're getting used to me, but now it takes me 30 minutes to talk myself into a drink. And I feel like that's really unfair to me, the hottest person that I think in the bar. It's like, there are some dudes in there who I'm all like, oh, come on, I'm a freaking catch. Have you seen my penis? I have a resume. I do have an OnlyFans account. For if you don't know what that is, it's sort of like panhandling with your dick. You know, he gets it. You know, if you want to film something later. I really don't understand why I go up here. Mostly because my therapist stopped taking my phone calls. I spent 3 months in a mental hospital about around the time I met you, so. And for the first time in my life, I realized, you know what? I'm never coming back here. So whenever I go into intake at a psychiatric ward, I lie my butt off. Like, no, I'm not crazy. You know, I'm not hearing voices or, you know, want to kill myself. Because you know what? Spending a month in a hospital is like the worst thing I can think of right now. And it's just like, yeah, I get to walk around in a circle in my underwear with slippers and not feel like the craziest person in the room, but it comes at a cost. Mostly, you know, you can't jerk off for a month, you know, or else you get put into solitary. And that's like nothing. But I'm running an open mic tonight at 10 o'clock. Come by, sign up. First 5 people get a shot on me. That's mostly, like, we usually only get 6 people, because that's how it works. But yeah, if you're the first 5 people, you get a shot. I'm not going to tell you of what, but it's going to be alcohol. But I mostly realized, after performing at open mics for the last 10 years, I hate audiences. I hate people who aren't comedians. Because you guys, like, it's not that I'm funnier, it's that you guys won't actively talk over me when I'm and I'm not there. They look at you and then talk over you. And I'm like, come on, like, I'm trying here. You could at least just pretend to laugh. But, you know, that's why I'm here. Because, you know, you guys have really low standards.
Juan Chavez! Also feel bad for him because rentboy.com was taken off the government, taken off the internet. Freedom of speech. Juan Chavez, everybody. Now, our next comedian, he's also a traveler. The man's trouble. He been to my house. He sat in my pink boudoir and spoke about all the women he took from fellow roommates. So, brothers, don't bring your women around him. Give a round of applause for Bobby Hill.
What an intro. Hey, look at this jerk that's about to come on stage. This girlfriend-stealing jerk. Hi, I'm Bobby Hill. I'll be one of your few straight comedians tonight. Thank you for allowing me into your neighborhood. Glad to be here. My name is Bobby Hill. Let's get this out of the way right now. Anybody else got a real messed up name? Just me? Bobby Hill. What's your name? That is a terrible name. I'm going to let you get over on me, lady. Yeah, I was at a bar one time and I asked somebody that question, and somebody yelled from the back, Todd, which in Chicago is a terrible name with that accent. You know what I mean? Just yelling out, Todd! Hey, Todd, we're going to go to the bar and get some sausages, Todd! You sound like a goat. Which this part of town was cursed with for a very long time, so it makes a little sense. I don't know. For those of you that were expecting a small yellow-haired cartoon boy, I am sorry. Also, stop it. Okay? Stop asking me if I've seen the stupid show. Okay? Just reconnect my cable, lady. I don't need that in my life. Every service center I call, every time I call customer service and I give them my name, they start chuckling. And I just want to hang up the phone. That's pretty much what's going on. I had this young dude that asked me one time, he goes, hey, is Bobby Hill, is that a stage name? Like I would choose it. And he was young, so I just told him my real name was Heathcliff Huxtable. And he was like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And I was like, yeah, it probably would have been. Especially considering. It's weird. But I get it. People just want to connect, right? You see somebody that looks familiar and like, man, you look like that person from a movie you've probably never even seen. And they're like, yeah, I bet I do. I had it happen to me once. After a show, a lady came up to me after a show and she goes, Bobby Hill, I totally get it. My name is Stephanie Tanner. Oh, man. And she was like, yeah, I was at a club one time and the bartender gave me my card back and he was like, say hi to DJ for me.
Oh.
And I was just like, how rude. Full House fans. That's cool. And I get it. If you've never seen me before and you hear Bobby Hill, you might be expecting a cartoon child to come on stage, which is weird. You should get that checked out. But if we're on Facebook and I comment on a friend's post and your first move is to go get a meme of Hank Hill, please go die in a fire. Preferably a propane fire. I say all that. I've never seen the show. I've never seen. You can't do that. You can't. If you're a dude, you can't watch a show just because there's a character on it with your name. That's so narcissistic. You can't do that, ladies. You watch out, okay? Like if you meet a man, like say named Scott Baio, and he's not the Scott Baio, but he knows all the words to Charles in Charge. Run. You will wear your skin like a Snuggie. He wants to be in charge of your days and your nights. Those are all the old TV shows I know. I moved back to the Midwest from Los Angeles. I'm from here. I actually grew up like less than a mile away from here. But I moved back from LA to here, and it's weird because the allergies affect me a lot now that I'm back here. And it's messed up because my eyes are red all the time. And people are always like, hey man, are you high? And I always gotta be like, yeah. That's not why my eyes are red. I got allergies. Are we excited? January 1st, it's gonna be legal for I cannot wait. These are not, this isn't a napkin. These are just notes because I can either remember, I have no short-term memory. So much read. And you can either remember your jokes or hip-hop lyrics. And Wu-Tang Clan ain't none to F with. They really ain't. Like, even down to the underwear. Wu-Tang Clan ain't none to F with. Like, you might be sitting there saying to yourself, like, okay, so did this guy wear Wu-Tang underwear specifically for this show? Or does this man have 30 pairs of Wu-Tang underwear? And the answer is yes. And some of you might be like, man, that dude is woke. He is wearing Wu-Tang Clan underwear. That is woke as hell. But I bought these in a 2-pack from Target, so probably not really. Okay, let's just be honest about that. I don't know. It's cool. Weed should have been legal a long time ago, but it has terrible names. They give it terrible. Stop naming the crate. Like, no one is going to go in for green crack, okay? That's not going to work. You can't legalize something called green crack, ladies and gentlemen. There's a strain called crystal coma. Those are two things that the lawmakers are not interested in, okay? Crystals and comas is not their deal, all right? I'm going to get out of here on this. I'm a dad. That's probably not what I should say after all the weed stuff. And it's weird. I talk about my kid sometimes on stage, and I was at a club recently talking about my kid, and this lady off to the side of the stage just yells out, "You're a DILF!" Which is super sweet. If you don't know what a DILF is like a MILF, but the dad version. If you don't know what that is, you got some stuff to look up when you go home. This guy's Pornhub channel, my DILF thing. And I just yell back, if it's not a category on Pornhub, is it even a thing? And this dude way in the back of the club just yelled out, "It's a category on Pornhub!"
Where?
And his wife beat the crap out of him. Y'all been great. My name is Bobby Hut.
Give a round of applause for Bobby Hill. You Google his name, you get King of the Hill. I'm Thomas Bottoms. You Google my name, I am a category on Pornhub. Give a round of applause for Joe behind the bar. He's serving us up tonight. Here at Shakers, 3160 North Clark. We got $3 domestic bottles, $4 well drinks, and $4 Jaeger and Fireball shots. And by the way, someone did buy me a Fireball shot, and someone did buy me a vodka cranberry. So if you're not drinking, go ahead and buy me a drink, because I'm still mildly sober. Yes! We're going to keep our train wreck moving. Give a round of applause for Avery Hutto.
what's going to go on with my hands while I'm up here, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot of this and a lot of fast action for you. People say to like trust your instincts and to just go with your gut, but if I did that, I would definitely be dead by now. Like anytime I'm driving over a bridge, my instincts are immediately like, call your ex-girlfriend. Right? Anytime I leave my house, my instincts are like, go back in your house. Why would you ever leave your house? Go back in your house. Even now, they're like, you should get off, go to your house. Go where it's safe. I think the first deer to grow like antlers was Insecure. Like, I think there was some deer looking at a reflecting pond one day freaking out because he had these horns growing out of his head. All the other deer probably made fun of him, right? Until one day he couldn't take the bullying anymore and he goes on an antler murder rampage. But murder, super sexy in the deer community. Right? So all the female deer, the deer hoes, the does, were like, oh, I'm totally gonna sleep with Antlerhead. And then their friends were like, no, we're gonna sleep with Antlerhead. And that's why all deer now have antlers. Right? When I die, like, I don't want to be buried or I don't want to be cremated. I think that's too basic. Like, I want my body fed to hungry pigs. Because pigs are very smart animals, but they're also very delicious animals. So instead of feeling guilty or going vegan, I'm just gonna pay back the favor later. You eat my back, I eat yours. Like, that's the real circle of life right there. And then I'm thinking I could even take it one step further and then feed those pigs to the guests at my funeral. That'd be messed up, wouldn't it? It'd be kind of cool. The invitations would be like, it's not open casket, it's open pit barbecue. That'd be a little messed up. That'd be funny, but it'd be messed up. All right. I don't know what the JD Power Awards are, but I do know that they're worthless. Like every single... The new Chevy Silverado, winner of 27 JD Power Awards for best truck for picking up your family with 4 wheels and going to a picnic, but you don't go to picnics, you're a big strong man. Right? The JD Power Awards are the participation trophy of car awards. That's all I really gotta say. Boo-boo. So my girlfriend and I broke up recently while we were both on acid. Like, if you don't imagine a regular breakup and then multiply that by acid. By acid, people. So we're tripping, we're hanging out, we're listening to music, just doing acid stuff, right? This really emotional song comes on, and I start to get motivated. I'm starting to be like, you know what? I need to change my life. I need to stop doing these drugs. I need to be a better person. And I look to her for like the confirming, woo! And she is bawling. And not like trees are beautiful crying, but like this relationship is over crying, right? And she says, I think we need to break up. And I immediately go like, I start thinking of all the reasons why we don't need to break up. But in my acid mind, with clarity, I see, oh my gosh, this relationship isn't going to work. So we just start with, this is when we enter into what is normally known as a bad trip. we are sobbing at this point, looking at each other. 15 minutes into the crying, we forget that we're on acid and that we've just broken up. We just remember that we're sad and crying. I'm looking at her, she's like, I miss my dad. I miss my mom. We're crying. We fall asleep. We wake up in the morning and have to look at each other and be like, are we still together? Like, was any of that real, or were we tripping? And then we just broke up. That's how that works. Biggity boogity boggity boo. Sometimes I like go on stage and I'm like, you know what? My brain is really gonna back me up today. I'm gonna go up with no notes, brain, you're in this. And my brain's like, yeah, we can do it. And then I get up here and my brain's like, just kidding, bro. You're on your own, man. Figure it out. And this is me here. I'm like, I can do this. Nope, checking the notes. All right. You ever like look at somebody, like you just catch eyes with them and immediately, like you can tell that you just get along. You just have this community vibe. You're like, I don't know if we knew each other in a past life. I don't know if we can just talk to each other. That's me with every homeless person. I don't know what it is, but every single time I catch eyes with a homeless person, it's like I'm seeing my long-lost brother. Right? And it is costing me a fortune. Because you can't just connect with somebody like that and be like, I'll see you later. Here, take anything. Right? People are like, you shouldn't give homeless people money. They're just going to buy it on drugs. I give homeless people drugs too. Like, you gotta think, what is going to make these people happy? You think 50 cents and an apple is gonna help? These people need drugs. Right? They say kid in a candy store. How about homeless man with a joint? Alright, thank you very much.
Avery Hutto, everybody! We'll keep it moving. Coming to the stage is Ahmad Daniels!
It's cool. This just makes me feel comfortable. I don't know, man. I really do want to stop drinking as much, but because I just feel like the way I drink is different now. I feel like I used to drink for like reasons like, man, I'm about to get drunk, build up this confidence, talk to this lady I want to talk to. And now it's like I'm gonna get drunk and cry on this bike ride. This is my new speed. But I don't know, man. You know what? The other day I think I drank too much. They gave me free drinks. They gave me a wristband at this place, and they said you could drink from these well drinks. You get certain beers, and then I just proceeded to get really drunk for free. But I got so drunk that I just started paying for more drinks. I was like, I can't even taste this, but I want the pink one. Like that one. I don't know, dude, this is weird. You guys watch Netflix?
Yeah!
You guys keep up with like the murder mysteries? They got the Ted Bundy tapes. Yeah. And then like a couple weeks later, they came out with a movie about Ted Bundy, and it was called, it's a long title, I don't even know the name of it. But it was starring Zac Efron. You guys know how ridiculous that is? Like they were really trying to push this whole narrative that Ted Bundy was a handsome serial killer. That they got Zac Efron to play this dude in the movie. The dude from High School Musical. Like I was watching it, and there was a scene in the movie where Ted Bundy, aka Zac Efron, was in the shower butt naked.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, there's no way Ted Bundy had a butt this good. I can't suspend my disbelief. This movie is ridiculous. Yeah, no, it's really weird. I actually did move. I live near here. I could walk here, which is cool because like I moved from the south side, which this neighborhood is very different for obvious reasons, right? But like one of the things that I think people take for granted about this neighborhood is that you can jog. That's amazing. Like on the south side, if people heard your footsteps too quickly, like they thought you were trying to jump them. Like one dude, I actually made this dude mad. Like he heard my footsteps, and he's like, "Hey, say something." And I was like, dude, it's 9 a.m. I'm not about to jump you at 9 a.m. You know, like gangsters don't work this early. And then I got on the bus and I watched them get jumped. Should have been paying attention. Gotta pay attention, dude. I know, man, there's been a lot of weird stuff where now, I don't know if you guys have heard about this stuff. This stuff is called sextortion. Anyone heard about this? Right?
Oh.
Where yeah, like people will like threaten you about your nudes. Right? Like I get these emails now that say, "Pay us 500 Bitcoin, or I'm gonna release a video of you jerking off." And it's like, how much is 500 Bitcoin? Well, I had to Google it. It was $5 million, which is ridiculous. Like you gotta ask me for something I have. Threaten me for like a PlayStation 4 or something. Not this. But now my new strategy to avoid any kind of sextortion is I only jerk off in disguise. So if you see a video of a small black magician jerking off, it's not me. It's not me. It's ridiculous, dude. I've been growing out my hair, and I don't know, man, it's weird because like when you grow out your hair, now you get like mistaken for a woman sometimes. You get catcalled by dudes. This dude called me out. He thought it was a prostitute walking around with me. He's like, "Hey, baby, you should get in this car." And then I was like, "Yo, man," and he like heard my voice. He's like, "Oh, you should get in this car." Ridiculous dude. Yeah, man. As I said, I ride my bike a lot now, which is cool. I really like riding my bike because in this area it's like good and I can get home really quickly. But when I was like on the south side, I couldn't do anything. So like I had a car for a while and then it broke down. And then like my friends, they tried to make me feel better about it because they would be like, "Yeah, man, you know, it's cool that you don't have your car anymore because now, you know, like taking the bus at 3 a.m. is like real therapeutic." Like, no, it's not. Like, there is a dude on here doing karate. Alright, that's it. Thank you.
Ahmad Daniels, everybody! I relate to your story about people sneaking up on you. One time my boyfriend, Mikey Chip, round of applause. We were driving into Oregon, got into Oregon at 6 a.m. and went to a gas station. Next thing I know, there was a white person upon us going, "Hey, how can you do?" Grabbing our car. Mikey reached for his 9, but I was like, hey. They pump your gas in Oregon. That's how they do. That's how they do. And I did not know about that sextortion thing. I didn't. But it's okay, since I've always been a Z-level celebrity, I just use a body double. Sometimes you can color correct certain people. Like, that's all you have to do. That's mine, yes. Our next comedian, I don't think he has a body double. Give a round of applause for Peter Bonello.
This doesn't work, right?
No. Sofia, you're next.
I was traveling over the weekend. I was in Michigan and I'm broke, so I take a bus. I was taking a mega bus, and before we started moving, my driver said, "I'll do my best to get us there safely, but I'm not making any promises." I was just sitting there like, "But could you?" I play a lot of video games, and people make careers out of playing video games now. I don't know if you've heard about the video game Fortnite, but the Fortnite World Cup happened a couple weeks ago. The winner won $3 million. He's 16 years old. I just wish I could be there to watch his parents try to discipline him. "Kyle, you have to finish your homework." "No, I don't have to finish anything anymore." "Here's 100 to clean my room." My parents don't believe in religion, so naturally they sent me to a religious school growing up. And I would learn things in school and bring them home to my parents, and they wouldn't resonate at all. For instance, I remember learning about the Ascension. And for those of you that don't know, the Ascension is when Jesus rose from the dead. And I remember telling my dad about that and being like, "Hey, Dad, do you know about the Ascension?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah. John Coltrane's album?" I just think it's funny he assumed I would know John Coltrane's catalog. I was 6. Do you know how high you have to be to think a 6-year-old will know John Coltrane? And since then, like, I've actually started smoking weed with my dad, and the answer is very. My brother is a cryptocurrency analyst. That's it. And I'm starting to go bald. So far, not a fan. Because my dad's bald, so I just see what I'm about to look like in 10 to 15 days. But it sucks on another level as well, because my brother is 6'6" with a full head of hair. My parents don't believe in religion, but that's why I don't believe in God. And if you're having trouble picturing my brother, a 6'6" cryptocurrency analyst who also happens to live in LA, it's actually pretty simple. Just picture a douchebag. I threw up in my mouth at work today. Thank you. I work the sandwich line at Potbelly. And if you're wondering how that went, sort of like this. "Hi, welcome to Potbelly. What can I get? Food!"
Oh, God.
Would you like that wreck on original bigger flatbread? I'm a delusional person, but especially at work. A beautiful woman will come in, and she'll order a sandwich, and in my head I'll be like, if I just make the sandwich well enough. Because I love the customers, even the bad ones. A man came in the other day, he ordered a tuna fish salad sandwich, so I gave him 1 scoop of tuna because that's how we proportion it. And he looks at me and he says, "Is that a joke?" I look at him and I say, "No, sir, that's how much tuna you're having." And then he says, "I come in here every day." And I looked him in the face and I said, "Sir, so do I." You know, I love the customers because they'll get mad at you and they'll say things like they'll get mad at you like you're potbelly, like you're the company. Things to you like, "I will never come in here ever again." I don't care. I make the same amount of money whether you are here or not. I very literally just make sandwiches. Actually, in a perfect world, no one would ever show up ever again. How does Mitch McConnell look like a more disabled version of Stephen Hawking? Seriously, he looks like if Christopher Reeves kept living. I'll get out of here on something light. Have you ever seen a child so annoying you hope they're autistic? You know, for their sake. And I'm not trying to say people with autism are annoying. I have a couple relatives with autism. They're some of the most thoughtful, kind, and intelligent people I know. What I am trying to say is, I'd much rather have an autistic kid than an asshole. Thank you, Peter Bonello.
Peter Bonello, everybody! Our next comedian coming to the stage, she is a fellow traveler also. We're getting some newbies coming in. I guess we're a tourist stop, just like, I don't know what your hometown is, David Perez, but I'm thinking you a tourist stop too. We got another tourist coming in. We got Sofia Javed.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. I'm Sofia Javed. I'm feeling pretty good. It's still summer. And I don't know if you know, but summer is a really great time to be a brown person in America. Did you know that? It's actually the best time. Because summer is spelling bee season. This is not a spelling bee crowd. No one here was like glued to ESPN and all of that. No? You only watch regular sports on there? Like a bunch of nerds? Yeesh. All right, let me tell you what happened. It was amazing this year. For the first time in 92 years of this event, the Scripps National Spelling Bee this year ended in an 8-way tie. Yeah, the kids were too smart. They couldn't find words hard enough, so they gave the first place award to 8 kids. What? What are their names? I'm so glad you asked. The 8 kids who won the 2019 Spelling Bee were Rishik Gandasri, Shruti Kapadi, Sakit Sundar, Abhijay Kodali, Chris Rao, Rohan Raja, Soham Sukhatanka.
Of course.
And Aaron Howard. In case you missed that, there was 7 Indian kids and 1 Aaron Howard. And that's not a white boy either. That was an ERIN white girl. Yeah. And I bet Aaron Howard's mother was so proud. You know, all those years of vinyasa yoga and chai lattes finally paid off. But it was stupid that there were 8 winners. There could have easily been 7. All I had to do was ask Aaron Howard to spell the other kids' names. If that announcer had said, "Please spell Sohum Sukhatanka," she'd be like, "Oh man, we've been calling him Sammy all week." She'd have been out of there, right? But she won. won. She made it to the top 8, and good for Erin Howard. Because the last time a white kid won the spelling bee was 2007. Yeah, and then it's been Indian kids ever since. White kids are the cicadas of spelling bees. They come out every 13 years, and they're just so annoying. I did a genetic test recently. I did a 23andMe. Has anyone done one of these? Couple people. Have you done it, sir? No? You're like, I'm white. I'm happy with that. I don't want to know anything more. Why ruin a good thing? Look, I get it. It makes sense. We should all be so lucky. But we're not. Some of us need to know more. I wanted to know more, so I went through the whole process. I ordered the kit. I spit till I got to the line in the tube. I wrapped it up. I put it in the mail, and I waited eagerly for like 7 weeks to find out what secrets, what surprises were hiding in my DNA. And then I got my results, and I learned that I am 99.9% broadly South Asian. Broadly. And also that I'm genetically predisposed to have a higher body weight than the average woman of my height. As if broadly wasn't bad enough. I paid them $200 and they told me that I'm brown and fat. Which makes me 100% an angry Asian woman. No, I'm sorry, a broad brown broad who's a little bit bitter. Because I mean, really, what a scam, right? What's next, 23andMe? For an extra $150, will they tell me that I have way too much body hair and I should have gone to medical school? It's too late. My mother tells me that every year for free. Now look, I'm a fairly progressive person. But science can suck it. I want that money back. The good news is I've been making some money this year doing comedy, so... I don't mean to brag, but I can now afford my very own 200 square foot studio apartment. Give it up. And before you get jealous, let me tell you, 200 is not a lot of square feet. No. The regulation for free-range chickens is 300 square feet. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am not free-range. I have one window and it has bars on it. I'm not even cage-free. And I'm definitely not grass-fed either. I live in D.C. now. I'm originally from here in Chicago. It's good to be home. I live in D.C. When I first moved there, I got really into the history that was all around me. I started reading all up about it, and I got really into biographies of U.S. presidents. And I learned so much. Did you guys know that President Lyndon Johnson invented the Spanish blowjob? LBJ. I'm Sofia Javed. Thank you very much.
Sofia Javed. I relate to you about that. Like, oh, we'll find out what my ethnicity was. It's like, I was born in Germany. My father's Dutch. My mother's Swedish. I'm Northern European. I don't look like the plain white people. Our next comedian doesn't look like a bland white person either. Dustin Drew!
Alright, Shakers, what's going on? How's everyone doing? Everybody good? Yeah. That's good. That's good. So a couple weeks ago, I got pulled over by a police officer. But I managed to get out of the ticket, which as a black guy, it's pretty freaking cool. I was sitting there, and he comes up to my car and he's like, "Sir, do you know why I pulled you over?" And I said, "Yes, because I was speeding." And he said, "Can I ask where you were going so fast?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm going to a stand-up comedy show because I do stand-up comedy." And he was like, "Oh, really? You're a stand-up comedian? Tell me a joke." And I was like, well, I don't really have any one-off jokes, but if you want, I can do my impression of Gilbert Gottfried for you. And he was like, yeah, let me hear it. So I said, Officer, I know you think that I broke the law simply because I'm an insufferable a-hole. But I can assure you that, in fact, is not the case, and I ask that you let me go. And then he just walked away. And as he walked away, I realized something. I realized that in that moment, I had made black history. Because I was the first black man to get out of a ticket by pretending to be a Jew. I think that's pretty freaking cool. That same day, I hit a guy on a bike with my car. This was after the police thing, luckily. But I hit a guy on a bike with my car, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It felt really freaking good. It felt good because he was being a jerk and like flipping everybody off and weaving in and out. He was doing that thing that people on bikes do where they think they're a car. That's what was happening. And so, I don't know if people on bikes think about this, but if you're on a bike in the middle of the street with a bunch of cars, you gotta remember, everyone around you is in a 2-ton metal death machine. You're on 2 wheels powered by nothing but protein bars and lack of self-preservation. So I hit him. And after I hit him, there was a part of my mind where I was like, I should probably drive away. I should get out of here right now. But then I was like, no, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Get out and check on him. So I got out of the car and I checked on him. Just to make sure I finished the job. And so, as soon as I get out and look at him, he hops up on his bike and he goes, "It's all good, bro!" And then he just pedals off. And now I'm stuck here with this feeling of almost enjoying killing him. Because that felt really good. Because I don't know if you've almost, killed someone before, but dude. It's like not pulling out, but no one gets pregnant. It's a lovely feeling. So, I'm black. Yeah, right. It's been like that for 24 years now. And there was actually a time that was up for debate. Because growing up, I was always told that I talked and acted too white. I was told that I talked and acted too white. But I also got bullied because I was the darkest kid in my class. So for 20 years, I just tried living my life like Carlton, but if he were from Uganda. I don't think y'all know how confusing that is. Imagine someone telling you that you sound like Seth Rogen, but look like Samuel L. Jackson. And it got really confusing. It got so confusing to the point that I started to wish that I was white. Yeah. I started to wish that I was white. Not for the usual reasons like privilege or anything like that. No, I want to be white to do the kinds of things that white people do. Like retry a high five and not feel like a jackass. That is the coolest thing ever. Have you ever done that? Oh my gosh, dude. Every time I see you guys do it, I'm just like, I wish I could do that as a black person. Because black people can't mess up high fives. We can't afford to do that. We got too much other stuff on our plates. But I remember I was sitting there with one of my friends once and, we kind of messed up the high five and he's like, Dustin, we're going to need to retry that high five. That's my white person impression. I hope it's somewhat accurate. But he says, Dustin, we have to retry that high five, except this time I want you to look at my elbow. And I'm like, okay. Because apparently if you look at someone's elbow when you high five, the high five will always go perfectly. And I didn't know that. So I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready to high five, and when our hands touch, is the most incredible high five I've ever felt in my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, that was incredible. What power allows you to discover these things? And he looks at me and he goes, I like to call it white power. I kind of wish he took off his hood when he said that. Made things a little awkward. All right, my name is Dustin Drew, y'all. Thank you.
Dustin Drew, everybody, give him a round of applause. He has been a guest on my radio show once or twice now?
Twice.
Bottoms of the Barrel on Q4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org, where on the regular studio week, where current events with a pop varnish, where I like to say we play a song that kind of describes what's going on in the world, and then we just review the song, and I'm tasteless like that, like... When the Parkland high school shooting happened, we played Debbie Gibson's Electric Youth. Yeah, the pep rallies are now the teenagers running from the high schools, but it's okay, at least we didn't call them actors. Joe is behind the bar. Give a round of applause for Joe. Yes. We got $3 domestic bottles, $4 well drinks, and $4 Jaeger and Fireball shots. And by the way, only one person has shot in my mouth tonight. Oh, I need to rephrase that. Only one person has bought me a Fireball shot, and only one person has bought me a drink. I am feeling unattractive and unappreciated. And we're also going to take a moment to recognize and celebrate the great beauty that is FemForce. This is FemForce fighting the German electric villainous Blitzfrau. AC Comics, FemForce going color in December issue 188, and the price is actually dropping $4. Just like the economy, it's going down quickly. Our next comedian to the stage, I had to make sure I didn't hashtag me to her. I've been on the hashtag me too. I've been on the casting couch. The guy said it was a vocal audition. That was not a microphone, but it was a 30-second audition. They asked if I got the part. I said yes, it was a small one. I loved her shoes. Can I compliment your shoes?
Yeah.
Give a round of applause for Arlieta Hall.
All right, my name is Arlieta Hall. Start right there. Give it up for your hosts. Thank y'all for being here at Shakers on Clark. I don't know if y'all thought like me it was gonna be like a strip club speakeasy. I pulled up, I'm like, okay, somebody about to be shaking tonight. But it's just comedy. All right, I'm from Chicago. Let's just hop right into it. Y'all know who R. Kelly is? Did y'all see Surviving R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay, I seen it. Y'all know he barely survived high school. Did y'all know he was slow? That's all I took away from the entire documentary. So I saw some uncut scenes. I don't know if y'all saw them. I saw them, but his sophomore year in high school, his teacher was like, "I'm not understanding why Robert is finding it so hard to spell his name." So she gave them all the task to come up with their own names, and that's when he dropped the Albert and just went with R. So that's when y'all saw him in that interview with Gail. Gail was like, "Robert, we have about 20 girls that have come forward, and they're saying that you committed this crime." And he was like, "Who is Robert?" I hate him. I'm sorry. So I'm skinny, as y'all can tell. That's what America tells me. I don't look in the mirror and say that every day, but being skinny or whatever you guys are, people will shame you more so than they do if you are fat. People come up to you and they're like, "Oh my God, are you gonna eat all of that?" And then it's like, what am I supposed to say back? So I'm just looking back like, "No, but I bet you are." Then I'll get people like, this one lady came to me, she was like, "You're shaped like my 12-year-old. And I'm just like, "You shaped like my dirty laundry." But I don't say that back. I always hit them with that Kermit smell like, "We doing that." You're doing that, you know, because you don't tell people that's tall that they too tall, and you don't look at their feet. You know not to look at somebody's big feet, like, because you know they self-conscious about them. So, the one time that I called a girl fat to her face, I'm going to say, I wasn't over here in this little lovely community. I was on 79th and Halsted. I was at a block party with my friends, so we pulled up, we in the car. I'm like, okay. And this girl pull up in this minivan. I'm like, dang, she big, girl! Oh, look at the big girl driving the mystery machine. She's big. She's not ready. She's heavy. So, whole time I didn't know, like, my window was down a little bit. So, she had looked down like, yeah, you ain't know I heard you. I was like, cause that's all I do. And when I get in trouble, I'm like, if I just freeze up. So then she looked down the block. Look, this little girl down here talking snacks. Come get it. I'm like, pull out. So that's the last time I body shame. So y'all shouldn't body shame people. I'm a millennial and I'm single. Anybody here single? Hey. It is some of the most interesting things that happen dating. So I just get a couple statements. I'm gonna just run by them real quick. So I meet a guy. He wants to talk to me. First thing he say is, "I'm finna pull up on you." Then once I let him pull up on me, the second statement I get when he gets to my house is, "Give me a hug." Third statement. Why you all the way over there? Then my favorite. Stop playing with me. Now, y'all ain't laughing at her because these statements come from black men. It's very hard. I've never dated a white man. I mean, I tried to flirt with one, and I'm a comedian and an improviser, and the closest I've gotten was, Arlieta, I really want you to come over Sunday at 7. I got something important I want to talk to you about. I was like, wow. This is so formal from a white man. I'll come over at 7. I get there. He was like, yeah. So I have this improv team I'm starting. I think you'll be a great addition. I was like, oh wow, that's so what I thought I was coming here for. So I don't date anymore. I date my daddy. I know that sounds kind of messed up. So anybody know what Alzheimer's or dementia is in here? Clap if y'all heard it. Okay. So I caregive for my father who has Alzheimer's. I'm a certified dementia communication specialist, so I am certified to yes and the shit out my dick. That's basically yes and the crap out my dick. So as I take care of my father, like I said, I utilize improv. So my father drives the chair with wheels around because he thinks that's his car all day long. So he'll be rolling through on the carpet, and I'll just be right behind him like, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. Now, he go about as slow as 290 at 5 o'clock, but I just let him do that. He thinks he's a principal still, so when I get over there, he's still trying to put me to work. He's like, what's on the agenda today, baby? So I get the agenda together for him. But the first thing I do is get my daddy in the shower in the morning. He's all good. He can still wash himself. So I help him like get his clothes on to help him understand to get in. Once he get in the shower, he's good until he peeps the man in the mirror. Like that girl right there. So he'll be washing up and he'll be like, get out of here! Get out of here! So I'll come in the bathroom like, leave my daddy alone! Get out of here! You hurt the man! So I'm just telling y'all that to say, if y'all got parents at home that's aging, please just agree with them, have fun. It's depressing, but all we're gonna do is just make it better, I promise. I've been Arlieta Hall. Thank you so much.
Arlieta Hall, everybody! Yeah! She talked about R. Kelly. See, R. Kelly brazen. Like, he released a song called Come to Daddy.
He did.
And there's the follow-up, Taste Better Fresh. And you talk about people insulting their weight. Like, when I was in college, I lived in fear of the freshman 15, so I lost 50 pounds. And I dealt with a thicker man. I'm like, oh, all these candies, I can't eat these. I'll gain 300 pounds. And he's like, you wouldn't look good weighing 300 pounds. And I'm like, I don't think anyone would look good at 300 pounds. He's like, I think I could. And I said everyone should have goals. And you talked about 73rd and Halsted. When I first moved to Chicago, they're like, "Oh yeah, live off Halsted." I chose 63rd and Halsted. It was a far experience than Boys Town. Now our next comedian, I don't know if he's worked Halsted, but he's from the neighborhood. Give a round of applause for Phil Burns.
Thank you, Thomas. You know what? I so fucking used to. So, gosh darn used to this. God, I sounded whiter than you did. Sophia, you said you took the 23andMe test. Most of the people I know can't take that test because they don't know how to spit.
I just got that.
I got thrown in Facebook jail last night.
Oh.
For a meme that I got from a Facebook group. It was basically, the meme was the Pillsbury Doughboy was plowing Little Debbie. And the caption was, "This is how the filling is put into oatmeal." Whatever the hell they are. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Which I no longer want to eat.
If you will.
Yeah, which I no longer want to eat, and I have a box at home. Let me see.
I know why, because you can see the testicles. I saw that meme.
The testes didn't pass the test.
Mike, just record. Don't talk. Anybody work out? Seriously, Dustin? Seriously? We're gonna go through this again. Anyways, I do I do 45 minutes of cardio 5 days a week at Planet Fitness, as you can no doubt tell. I've been going for 2 years, as I said, you can no doubt tell. I use the elliptical for 45 minutes. I go about 3 miles, a little over maybe 3.5 miles. I've tried the treadmill for 45 minutes. I go about 5 or 6 miles. I've also tried the stationary bike. I've gone over 10 miles. Oh, that's okay. Which goes to show you, if you pedal your ass, you're gonna go places. Okay, now we got any baseball fans here? Yeah. Anybody remember Harry Carey?
Yeah.
Okay, now there's a mic on, I think it's Wednesday's opening up at Shoes Pub on Armitage. And it's the Bill Murray open mic. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, Bill Murray, when Harry Carey had a stroke when he broadcast Cub games, Bill Murray did a Cub game. Now, one thing I always bet on when Harry Carey was okay and drunk, he always sang the 7th inning stretch, and it was always, "Good Wooly," and he was leaning out of the announcers. I swear to God, he was literally kneeling on the railing, and I was always starting a pool to see if he would fall. I mean, I liked it. I actually shook Harry Carey's hand once at Old Comiskey Park. Granted, it smelled like beer, but then again, hey, what can I say? So who was up for the air show this weekend? Anybody go? I know, Thomas, you talked about it earlier. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I think you found 50 pounds and got it back. I knew it. Anyways, I had a great idea for the air show. I had this great idea. Well, number one, they also had the British red arrows, which I guess are Trump's versions of the green arrow. I know. This is the first Trump joke that I've heard tonight. So, hey. But anyways, I was wondering, now, according to Trump, we took over the airports during the Revolutionary War, so where were the red arrows going to land? That was my thinking. I mean, they have an aerial tanker. Well, an aerial tanker is basically a flying gas station. Except they don't come out to wipe your windshield. You're like 30,000 feet in the air. And then the plane flies up underneath, you get this already? Holy shit! But anyways, I had this great idea to improve the air show, have a dog fight. Oh. Yeah, but then again, people, somebody might get hurt by a falling plane, or a boat might get some. So you have an aerial dog show, a simulated aerial dog show, dog fight dog show. Oh boy, simulated aerial dog fight. In other words, you put disco lights on the planes, and when a plane gets hit, it basically turns into Dazzler. Just a thought. Hey, but then I had another idea to make it better, especially since 2016, was get a rogue pilot piloting one of our aircraft with live weapons, and it makes sure Air Force One is flying over the lake. Oh, did I say that? No, not me. I'm a patriot. I'm an American. I served in our military, and if I was joining the military now, I would not take that oath because I could not obey a direct order from the president. I'm sorry, no. And I saw a bunch of newbies going into the service at Sox Park, Comiskey Park, whatever. Guaranteed Rate Field, sorry. And I wanted to run over and say, "Don't do it! Don't do it! You're serving it." Anal orifice. I couldn't cut that myself in there. One more?
One more.
Okay, I figured out, now the squad is prohibited from going to Israel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is an old joke, but I'm gonna redo it so it's my own. I think Israel and Palestine should get together, hug each other, and quit acting like Christians. What do you think? What do you think? Anyway, I'm going to give it back to Thomas. Thank you very much.
Bill Burns, getting political, everybody. Yes. I won't lie, I know I'm a year away, but I want to have like a Molotov cocktail election party. Really do. They're like, oh, that's offensive. It's like, look, that man puts his name on buildings. I'm flaming already. I don't have to like a match. Our next comedian coming to the stage, Justin Walker.
Word. Like it was needed.
So I wasn't told that this was like a FCC, like, nice, family-friendly mic.
Yes, I did! Yes, I did!
So, like, I apologize, but, like, all my jokes have swastikas in them. So, like, there was, like, a couple weeks ago, there were, like, 3 mass shootings. Y'all saw that? Like, all these white dudes? It's like, it's crazy, right? Yeah. So let me tell you why black mass shooters are better than white mass shooters. No? Too soon? Alright. Maybe I should earn your trust. Alright. Who believes in aliens? Aliens? I believe aliens exist. I believe they're out there.
I am one.
Alright. Random lady. But I believe aliens exist. I think they're out there. I just think they don't visit us because humans are considered the black people of the galaxy. Like, they know we're here, but alien Fox News be talking mad. Saying real grimy stuff. Oh, those humans. They're savages. Savages, I tell you. They're killing each other. They're killing the planet, and last but not least, they eat ass. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. But I know I love science fiction. Science fiction, that's my favorite genre, man. Science fiction. Anything can happen in science fiction. You know what I'm saying? If it's impossible, if it's mind-blowing, it happens in science fiction. For example, the only time you will ever see a white person stand up against gentrification is in a science fiction movie. Don't believe me? You know the movie I'm talking about. You've all seen it. We've seen it plenty of times.
It's the movie where an alien invasion happens, and then aliens come down and they go like, we actually kind of like this land. So you know what we're gonna do? We like it so much, we're gonna steal it and then remove all you people who were here first. And then the white people step up like, oh, no you don't. We know this game. You thought you could pull an us on us? I bet you didn't count on us having a Will Smith. So this is why black people make better mass shooters than white people. I've earned your trust by this. I should have. See, black mass shooters, they're kind. They're courteous. They're decent human beings. Right? You'll be in the club and you might hear something like, hey, that's how you feel? On God? Alright, I'll be back. I'm gonna go to my car. And when I come back, I'm shooting everybody in here. And then he leaves for 10 minutes. That means you got 9 minutes to get out of Dodge before you end up on the news that night. White mass shooters? Rude. No manners. White mass shooters just pop up somewhere like, I've been planning this for a week. Like, bro, chill, I just came in here for a panini. Anybody traveling? Anybody like to travel? Yeah. That's good. See, I've been to LA. I've been to LA and I think it's really overrated. Really, really overrated. And maybe I'm biased. You know, maybe I'm biased because they didn't like the way I was dressed. Okay? And here's the thing about me. I dress like a Chicagoan everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I dress like a Chicagoan in the summertime. Alright, and you know the rules. You don't wear layers. It's too hot for that. Which is why I was walking around LA wearing just the bulletproof vest. Just the vest. No tank top, t-shirt, just the vest. And some orange Crocs. Had to, because I'm a black man wearing a bulletproof vest. Didn't want people to think I was a thug. So I wore the safest shoe I could think of in the safest color, which is orange, not pink, because gay guys gang bang too, and they are fierce. They are fierce. See, people think because you're gay, you don't have a man to please. They're just as dangerous as the straights. Just as dangerous. You know, but you know, gay guys a little bit more, you know, petty. They kill you over petty things like fashion faux pas. Like if I were wearing brown socks with purple denim jeans, like my life would be in real danger. Which is a real privileged way to die when you think about it. You know, it's a very privileged way to be murdered. All over the world, people are dying. They're being murdered over real issues, right? In Africa, their last words before they're murdered. For freedom! Right? In the Middle East, their last words before they're murdered. For women's education. Me, my last words when I'm murdered, it was laundry day! Justin Walker.
Justin Walker, everybody! Proving fashion first. World peace? No. Fashion first. One of my favorite movies involves a woman being killed at the end of the film for wearing white shoes after Labor Day. I stand by that. Our next comedian, I don't know what he stands for. Give a round of applause for Dave Skarla.
Yes. Thank you, Thomas. Find out real quick what I stand for. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Dave, and I'm a recovering flat earther. Yeah, that's right. I used to think the earth is flat. I got better. It started out innocently enough, just some casual cyberbullying, trolling science nerds, right? Use alternate facts to just make them go berserk. Like, recycling causes climate change. Gets them every time. That's why the Chinese won't buy our garbage anymore. But then I learned that a surefire way to get under scientists' skin is to say the Earth is flat. So I adopted early on the classical flat Earth model. The classical flat Earth model is the flat Earth rests on the shoulders of the Titan Atlas, who surfs on the back of the great solar turtle, who stands on the back of the 4 cosmic elephants who are dreaming. They are butterflies. You would rather get into an argument with a biblical literalist about what happened on Friday than argue with me about who is dreaming who. But my favorite argument, my favorite attack from the flat Earth deniers is when they come at me with, if the Earth is flat, then what about gravity? It's a good question. For this debate, I'd like to use the postmodern flat Earth model. The postmodern flat Earth is flat, and it spins, not like a frisbee, but like a coin on a tabletop, right? Perpendicular to the elliptical plane, and it's that spin that makes gravity and sunsets and lunar eclipses. It drives astronomers apeshit. And it never hurt anyone, right? It's harmless. Oh, well. I did have a normal speaking voice until I started writing only in all caps. And I got punched in the throat by an astronomer. Like it became a part of the flat Earth community. I got a flat Earth haircut. Flat top, pardon me. We called it flat Earth. In the community, we called it a flat Earth. I contributed to the flat Earth Wikipedia page. Did you know that the Great Library of Alexandria might have been burned down several times in order to suppress flat Earth fact? It might be true. I met my second ex-wife at a flat Earth pancake breakfast. I met my fourth wife at a flat Earth recovery support group. We're taking a trip around the world together. Did you hear my Flat Earth podcast? I had a Flat Earth podcast, Flat Talk. I won an award for Best Science Podcast in Alabama. But then I flew too close to the sun. I tried to prove the Earth is flat by proving the Earth is round, and I found out the Earth is not flat. In my despair and denial, I tried to make myself a martyr for the cause by throwing myself off the edge of the world, but I couldn't find it. There are no planes or trains or buses to the edge of the world. It's not there, and I had to face the truth. The Earth is an oblate spheroid, more shaped like an apple or an orange than a perfect sphere. It feels so good to say that out loud. Yeah. No, I'm not going to get all sciencey on you. The circumstantial evidence that the Earth is round is overwhelming. But if the Earth is flat, you would be able to get your picture taken on a roller coaster going over the edge of the world. Woo! Right? There would be timeshare condos around the rim. There would be a giant water slide over the edge called the rim job, because you are for sure going to shit yourself. If the Earth is flat, it would be branded. The edge would be branded in 100-foot-tall peeling chrome letters. There would be a Washington Post expose about the Department of the Interior selling off bottom-of-the-earth mining rights to Russian aluminum oligarchs. If the Earth is flat, then where is all the drone footage? If the Earth is flat, wouldn't we have rain bars instead of rainbows? That's way too sciencey, I apologize. If the Earth is flat, there would be gay cruises with souvenir t-shirts saying, "I got topped on the bottom of the world." How do I really know the Earth is not flat? Because when supervillains try to take over the world, they always cup their hand like they're holding a ball, never flat like they're holding a pizza. And it's good I came to my senses. I was wasting way too much time defending the flat earth. Now I've got more free time to let the world know that the real reason the deep state wants to build a 30-foot tall wall on our southern border is because they're scared of zombie dinosaurs from outer space, and you should be too. I'm Dave Scavarla.
Dave Scavarla! Speak of the truth! Speak of the truth! Our next comedian, she joined me for a $3 martini lunch yesterday. If you're from the west side, she one of them Vaccarella girls. But her street name's Place in Your Mouth Patty. Give a round of applause for the leopard lady of comedy, Patty Vaccarella!
Thank you so much. Give it up for Thomas. So I'm at a really awkward stage in my life, you guys. I'm between menopause and death. It's true. I know I am too dang old to be messing around with Snapchat. I'm not even going to try. But I also know I am not yet ready for Life Alert. In spite of the fact that this is my second joint replacement in as many years, it's a cautionary tale. It's mostly because I was used like a farm animal in my 20s. When you're in your 20s, you're having fun, your heels are behind your head, it's all fun and good. Until you need a hip replacement. And then this Thomas, you need to be a little more judicious in your choice of paying your rent. This is what will happen to you. You get a joint replacement in your hand. I'm going to share a secret with you guys. I'm not going to heaven. I know, shocker, right? I am not going to heaven. I have been told by a great and powerful authority. The preacher man who used to be on the corner of State and Washington. We all know that guy, right? The older black dude that used to be out there on a daily basis with a speaker and a microphone telling us we're all sinners and we're all going to go to hell. One day I was walking past, preacher man and I, we locked eyes, and he looks at me and says, "You cannot enter the kingdom of heaven if you have fornicated." And I'm like, who hasn't? And then I started thinking, according to this guy, even if you smoked a tobacco cigarette, you're going to go to hell. Well, you know what? If that's the case, I got a bunch of people down there waiting for me. It's going to be great. My friends are going to be saving me a seat at the bar of eternal damnation. They're going to have an extra ice cold, filthy, rotten, dirty Grey Goose martini waiting for me with a never-ending supply of blue cheese stuffed olives. Because in hell, I am not going to give one fig. Oh! See what I did there? I'm not going to give one fig about my cholesterol in hell. It's going to be great. But the best part about going to hell is that I will never, ever get woken up at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning by someone ringing my doorbell trying to save my sorry soul. I don't know about you, but to me that kind of sounds like heaven. I had a guy recently trying to tell me he wasn't a jerk. He said to me, "Sweetheart, you got it all wrong. I'm not a jerk. I'm a natural-born alpha male." I said, "Oh, okay, that's great, because I too understand pack mentality. And I'm going to respond to you in relationship to my place in the pack." So I grabbed him by his throat, got him to show me his belly. Yes. And then I peed on him. Oh! And then I also neutered him, made sure his vaccines were up to date, and then I rehomed him. Yes. Because I am a responsible, compassionate alpha female. Have you ever had a conversation with an elderly person? And by elderly, I'm talking like 85, 90 years old. Have you ever had a conversation with an elderly person that suddenly became sexual in nature? That is some of the creepiest stuff you will ever encounter in your entire life.
My first job as an adult, I was a CNA. I worked in a hospital, and I loved that job. That job taught me more about dealing with people than any college degree ever could. I used to love to sit and talk with my elderly patients, and we would discuss life. They would share with me their knowledge, their wisdom, their life experience, but 9 times out of 10, these old codgers wanted to talk about sex. I was 22 years old. I did not want to hear some 90-year-old guy telling me about the 3-way he and his army buddy had with some woman in France in World War I. Thank you. I used to work the night shift. This guy put his call light on in the bathroom. I'm walking down the hall. I'm like, oh, this better not be any paperwork because I want to get out of here and hit happy hour. I need to get out of here soon. So I get to the room and the call light is on in the bathroom. And I'm knocking on the door. I'm like, sir, are you okay? Are you okay? He's not responding to me. And I hear the shower running. I'm like, oh man, that's going to be a lot of paperwork. There's going to be blood. It's just, I'm never getting out of here. I'm like, sir, are you okay? Are you okay? No answer. So I open the door. He's not on the floor. He's in the shower. The shower's running. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. Like, sir, are you okay? Please just answer me. Let me know you're okay. Nothing. I'm like, oh, I got to pull back the shower curtain. So I pull back the shower curtain. The old guy's got his back to me. I'm like, sir, are you okay? What's going on here? The old dude turns around. He's got a boner. With his washcloth hanging off the end of it. And he does this creepy little old man dance. Says, I don't know, can you help me? No. That was no. So I did what any normal woman would do. I snatched the washcloth off his pecker, I threw it in his face, and I left the room. Pretty sure that's not how his little fantasy was supposed to turn out. That's what I do. What can I say? But my favorite memory of working in the hospital was this old guy. His name was Israel. Israel was the original cool old dude. He was 92 years old, had thick white hair and these sparkling blue eyes that told you there was still an awful lot going on upstairs. I said to him one day, I'm like, Israel, what's your secret? Like, you're sharp, you're alert, you love life, you keep up with current events. What's your secret? He thought about a minute, and he looked at me and said, kid, you want to know my secret? My secret is I got a young girlfriend. She's 70. Every once in a while, a little something happens. And on the days that I'm too old to cut the mustard, I can still lick the jar.
Oh, God.
Come through.
I'm going to get out of here on that.
Patty Vaccarella, everybody, yes! Now, Patty, I have to say, I did see the movie Candy Stripe Nurses.
Yeah.
And the washcloth scene ended differently. My parents didn't come from money. They couldn't afford conversion therapy, so I could watch Skinamax late at night. You watch those things for the plot, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy. I give a round of applause again for Joe behind the bar. Yes, $3 domestic bottles, $4 well drinks, and $4 Jaeger and Fireball shots. And by the way, Dave Skarla gave me a Fireball shot, so don't feel unpampered to give me a Fireball shot. I'll let you shoot down my throat. It's okay. It's all right. We're down to our last 2 or 3 comedians. If you're a comic and I don't know you by name, you want to come see me. I'm going to give another shout out to AC Comics. We have Super Babes in full color. Issue number 1 should come out next week. Issue number 2 should come out at some point. accomics.com. Go support them, Bill Black. They have been independently self-publishing for 50 years. 1969. Unfortunately, you don't want to look at these images and shout 69. We're going to give a round of applause for our next comedian. She was fabulous last month. I'm glad she returned. Give it up for Felisa Cal.
Hi, good evening. I don't know why
shy, but whenever they call my name to go up on stage, all of a sudden I get this horrible urge to pee. It's like, oh my God. I can hold on though. Okay, so as he's saying, my name is Felisa Cal. My name is actually 6 letters, Felisa. People look at these 6 letters and have untold issue with them. I don't know what it is. But I have heard everything from Felisa, Felicia, to even Felicita. And I'm like, that's way too many fucking letters for what I offer. So, I would like a show of hands. Who would like to hear all the reasons why I am single at this time and going to remain so? Okay. Who would like to hear all the many reasons why I'm going to quit comedy after tonight? Why doesn't anybody want that one? I got all kinds of shit. Okay, so the reasons I am single. Starting out, my first adult relationship, I met a man who was an incredible liar. I mean, he lied about his name, his age, the color of the sky, his mother's passport, all kinds of shit that didn't even matter, and very, very vital things that did. So, okay, no problem. After him, I became celibate for a few years. You know, it's like, no, it's not worth it. So I come out of celibacy. I'm out on the hunt. I meet a guy who my best friend named Yankee Pot Roast. He served me very, very, very lightly seasoned Yankee Pot Roast one night over for dinner. It was wonderful. Yankee Pot Roast was my first introduction to a micro penis. Yankee Pot Roast also had a breast fetish. He loved boobs, so, you know, we were definitely gonna vibe. Yankee Pot Roast also liked the idea of, I won't say the T word, but breast fornication, let's say that. So, one night he talked me into it, and he actually put this micro penis between my breasts. Did I mention Yankee Pot Roast was a Caucasian man? He was a Caucasian. So, you know, I'm trying to be GGG. You know, I'm with it. Okay, this is your thing. We're going to do it. But all I could think as I lay there, and keep in mind, my breasts are not small, so this penis had disappeared as soon as it started. And I'm laying there thinking to myself, as I'm holding my breasts together for this experience, I can't believe I'm letting this white man do this to me. Okay, so me and Yankee Pot Roast fizzled out. To show you the time era I'm talking about, I met the next one on Lava Life. Lava Life was a phone dating line.
Lava Life.
Dude. So, the day we're supposed to meet, he describes what he's going to be wearing, and I know that he is a 6'3", bald white man. Again, another Caucasian. I ain't learned my lesson yet. So, we agreed to meet up the street from my office. I'm walking down the street. I worked at Milwaukee and Ashland. So, as I'm coming to the corner to cross, I see a tall, bald gentleman wearing a tan jacket. And I'm like, I wonder if that's him. So, I keep walking. I'm waiting at the corner for the light to change. My gut, which has never failed me, spoke up so clearly and said, cross the street and wait on the northbound Ashland bus and do not meet that man. Now, I'm a nice girl. I'm a good girl. It would be so wrong to stand this man up when he's agreed to meet me. It would be so wrong to do this. And yet my gut so clearly stated, do not do that. Cross all 17 lanes of this fucking traffic and wait on that northbound bus stop. I don't do this, right? I'm going to be a good girl. I'm going to go up and meet the man. Now, he had told me that he was 46 years old and ABC, whatever. Okay, fine. At the time, I'm 28. So, I go to meet him. He's all, Lisa? I should have listened to my fucking gut. So, no, I don't. We agreed to go ahead and have dinner and stuff. So, making conversation, I asked the man, so, what do you like in women? This man tells me he likes women with little titties. And I look down at my 34J and I say, what the fuck am I doing in this car? So, that wasn't even why I'm still single. I proceeded to date, marry, and be with that man for many years. And he left me. I know, right? So here I am, out in the street at the mercy of the dating scene. And let me tell you, the dating pool is so very shallow. You literally cannot wet the top of your feet in this fucking pile of water. You just can't do it. It can't be done. So, I'm out here. I say, okay, I don't need the fairy tale. I don't need a bunch of bullshit. All I need is, instead of the entire pig, I would like to have access to 7 inches of sausage 3 to 5 times a month. You know, I'm not asking for much.
Amen.
You know, I have high blood pressure anyway. I'm supposed to limit my pork anyway. So, in my search for a man, I say, this is what I want. You ain't got to be fabulous. You just have to be enthusiastic about giving oral. And I would prefer that you be well endowed. So, here we go. You know, not much to ask. I don't want a whole lot. So, I'm meeting people. I go on a date with a guy. So, this guy, 6'3", incredibly melanated, so beautiful. Great big feet, great big hands. We're sitting in the car, we're talking about things. And I say, okay, so how do you feel about oral? So I like to give it to my girlfriend. Okay. How are you endowed? Oh, I got that. I use magnums. This magnum I confiscated from him because I told him to come to my house. You know, fuck it, I'm grown. Come on over. We get to my house. I tell him, okay, let's see what you can do. He does a little something. I won't take that away from him. And then I grab on to the peen. For this man to use a Magnum condom is the equivalent of putting an earthworm into a fire hose. And knowing what it feels like to have a too big condom scraping your insides raw. I just said, you know what? No. I know I could have had a V8 anyway, so I'm just going to have one now and avoid this whole situation. But I took his fucking condom because it was so not right. If you have a teacup, you don't need a 2-liter to carry it. Just stop lying to people. That's all I'm asking. So thank you guys so much. I really
Keep it going for Felisa. Keep it going for Joe the bartender. Keep it going for Joe Mama.
AC Comics, Femforce, Bill Black.
Whatever. Remember, this is going to be FC on the radio Saturday, so no FCC rules, no swearing, no F-bombs, blah, blah, blah. But that's going to happen every so often, so no big deal. Next comic, first time here. Get it going.
Okay, stop. Zach, keep it going. Come on. Let's go. Energy check. I love it. Are we still here, man? Are we still here, guys? Are we feeling good?
Yes.
17 comics in. God bless you. God bless you guys. I almost left. I was like, man, I don't know. I was 17th on the list. I was like, dude, I got some errands tonight.
Dang. All right. This is good. I like this. This is. I'm gonna give you guys a second to sort of adjust to the Puerto Rican sideshow Bob thing I got going on. You know, it's all right. Yes, like I'm one of these racially ambiguous dudes, which is a little frustrating with the climate that we live in now, politically. You know, like I got people trying to deport me back to countries I'm not even from. It's like, man. Not Egyptian, you know? I don't even know Egyptian. Or like, do they have a Duolingo for that? Like, I don't even understand. I guess yes, but I don't want to do it. 5 minutes a day is too much. No, I am one of these racially ambiguous dudes, which is actually, it's kind of fun because you piss racists off. You confuse them, you know? Like they corner you in a bar, and they're like, you know, well, look what we got here, boys. We got ourselves the. Well, I mean, it's so obvious. I don't even need to say it because I'm so good at being racist. I don't even need to say it. I think they just have to get to know me and hate me for my personality. Like everybody else. Maybe check out some of the bands I like. Let me tell you about some sustainable farming options. So then that's how you really get to hate a person, you know. No, it's I'll jump ahead of the confusion here. My mom is white and my dad is black, which I think is beautiful, you know. That a black man and a white woman, they got together and produced like a malnourished Samoan looking who's like actively trying to play bass for Metallica or something. No, it's cool, man. I like being black. I'll admit it. I like it. It's fun. But it does come with its stresses, you know. It's kind of stressful being black. It's not all grits and big dicks, white people, you know? It's, you know, which, you know, like, it's messed up if I'm complaining. Because, like, I'm barely black, you know? Like, I'm like Disney Channel black. Like, the oppression that I face is, like, PG at most. And, like, they can wrap it up in 30 minutes. But like people have weird like things like when you're black, people just like have these weird expectations. Black people in the room, I'm sure you like people like expect you to be like good at basketball. It's like, dude, you're probably good at basketball, man. You probably like dunk mad basketballs. It's like not with my mom's Irish knees, I don't. You know, like, these knees were made for passing. You know what I'm saying? And sitting on the bench. It's like. No, it's not actually. That's not true. I used to be pretty good at basketball, and I people thought I, might go pro. Obviously, it didn't happen because you know how it is. Like you get older, 5th grade rolls around, they start calling traveling, like double dribbling. It's like, what? Like this is the Euro step. You know what I'm saying? Like. I was ahead of my time, you know. So these mobbed up refs forced me to retire, you know. No, another weird expectation is like when you're black, people just like expect you like, oh, you're probably like good at dancing, and like black people. Like I think we gotta give it to the Asians. I think they've like dancing, like they conquered math, and then they just decided dancing was gonna be the next thing. Like if you ever seen one of these like So You Think You Can Dance shows, like these breakdance crews, they're all Korean. It's crazy. I mean, I tried. I took a dancing class because like they say dancing helps with your confidence and like especially with the ladies in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, not really. Turns out girls don't really like it when you start tap dancing on their pussies. You know? Wrong dance class. All right. I feel like a lot of the comics went over their time, so I think I'm gonna go a little bit under my time. Thank you guys.
Joe Chazaray, everybody. He's gonna have me pull out my Maxwell albums. There's no need to wonder. Our final comedian, our headliner of the night. She has 2 first names and doesn't know the microphone doesn't work and didn't hear the speech or anything about how we gonna behave. So we don't know how she gonna behave. So she got 2 first names like a good porn star. Give it up for Jessica Diana.
This is a prop then, essentially?
Yeah.
Alright. Did you say good porn star? I definitely would not be a vanilla. Like, do I look like I would just do some vanilla stuff? I would be in some nasty, like, Stepbrother. With Thomas Bottoms, is that just saying you're king? Mine would be
Versatile, thanks for asking.
Mine would be
for a believer, an open mouth is an open mind.
Oh, mine would be Jessica Cream Pie. Is that clean? I don't know. That's not a swear word, right? That can mean a lot of things. Yeah. Cream pie. You guys doing alright?
Yeah.
I just turned 31 this year.
Woo!
31?
In December.
In December. Well.
With the day over 29.
Just mine.
Some things have changed about you guys. One, I'm a lot hairier now. Let's do it with a skunk attached to his Good Lord. I am, dude. Like, I woke up on my 30th birthday and, like, boom, I had, like, this happy trail. Right? So I'm, like, plucking this, and then, like, 31 comes along, and I realize I'm, like, going all the way back. What the hell? And, like, I don't know if you noticed in my gi, I take jujitsu now, folks. That's true. I got pummeled today. It's embarrassing. But I don't have a butt. I'm working on it, but I don't have one of those. So when I bend over, I look like my uncle from behind. It's fine. I've accepted it. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, who wants, like, alright. Truck drivers, I guess? I don't know. So the thing that sucks about it is that women in our 30s, we're also hornier now. I don't know if you guys remember going through this phase, everybody that's above it. We reach our sexual peak, like, what, 35, something like that? Oh boy. I'm not even like that. Like, but just all the time now, just me, man. And I think it's like, you guys know what hypersexuality is? It's like, I don't know if you guys are bipolar. Yeah, absolutely. Hypersexuality, it's like a form of, you just reach it when you're bipolar. And I guess when you're in their 30s, so I don't know which one to blame, actually. So I've been on Tinder, right? And I have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, getting the days mixed up, and I had to like knock it off because I was gonna rush and roulette one of them into fatherhood. The thing is too is that it happens at the most inappropriate times ever. Like this funeral I was at. This funeral, right? Man, what is that thing? This guy goes up and he does that thing. What's that stupid thing where you talk on behalf of the dead?
Eulogy.
Yeah, that dumb shit. So he goes up there and he's crying over his dead brother, right? He's just sobbing, looking all kinds of good. And all I was looking at was his penis in those basketball shorts. I was, which tells you penis. I didn't like. I couldn't think of anything more. What is dicks? Oh, well, I might as well.
Too late now.
Yeah, just you have to do a clean set, 6 minutes. Okay, let's do it. Sober, mind you. All right, challenge accepted. Yeah, looking at his wiener. So that kind of tells you about the integrity of the funeral. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a ghetto funeral. I don't want to be racist and assume, but but I tell you, like, that joke never lands in a room full of white people. So like, it never does. What? What does that mean? It's like, okay, I just like this is funny. It's just. Like they all wear the t-shirts with like the face on it and like the thing, and it's like always a pose of them doing this and the So I'm over here trying to like blow this guy crying over his dead brother. I'm in a death knell, I guess. Like sobbing men. I just gets me in there. Yeah. But I was just trying to get it in. I just heard that there are gonna be 50 gangbangers. You know what I mean? Thanks for the light. I'm falling apart, man. I don't know. Yeah. So I put it on lockdown. I've been celibate. I'm lying, but when I wrote this joke, I was celibate. Then I was like, who gives a shit, you know? Who cares? Who's watching? Like, Jesus? Send me to hell. Right. I never said I was a good person, by the way. So, yeah, I've been celibate. But I got introduced to the art of phone sex. Have you guys ever done that? Yeah. Bottoms. Bottoms.
Rent was due, I had to make it.
That's different. That's different. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's essentially where you just say on the phone what you want to do to the other person. And he was trying so hard. He like used a sexy voice, right? And you know, he's saying all these dirty things. He's like, I want to suck on your titties. I can't even do it. I was giggling on the phone, too. I was like, come get him, you son of a bitch. And then he's like, I want to see you play with yourself. Have you guys ever, like, masturbated, like, before you're trying to do something real sexy, you're like, and in your underwear, and then you catch your glimpse in the mirror, and you're like, oh. No thanks. Chuck, please. Like. So I like slammed a bottle of wine, and I gave myself a pep talk. Like, Jess, you can do it, Jess. So I go in the bathroom, right? And I put the phone up on the counter. I put my leg up, and I did a move I like to call the air guitar. Okay, get into it. They're gonna commit to it. Go in, and you know what, baby? Just hit that whammy bar. Just go in from behind it. Just like Daddy taught me. All right. Have a good night. Thanks a lot.
Jessica Diana! Yes! Proving this is the Bottoms of the Barrel comedy show, aiming low for success. No budget, no future, no morals. Yes, thank you. Round of applause for Joe behind the bar here at Shakers on Clark, 3160 North Clark. We do this every third Tuesday of the month. Next show is September something, 18th, 20th. It's the third. 17th. September 17th is the third Tuesday of the month in September. We'll be right back here. The show's going to be on Q4 Radio, AM 1680Q4.org. Reach out to me if you're interested in being a guest on the radio show. It's a current events with a pop varnish. Round of applause for AC Comics. Still publishing after 50 years. FinForce 188 coming out in color in December. Go to your comic shop, request it. You can also request Super Babes, a very politically correct title. I have been your host, Thomas Bottoms. We aimed low for success and we succeeded. Someone buy me a shot. Bye.